This is Down the Rabbit Hole, where we question the mysteries and nature of reality. I'm your host, Justin Perry. In the same area, but a different dimension. 5 years ago, in 2015, me and some of my friends were in our early teens. I hosted an annual Halloween get-together at my grandparents' house the day before the 31st. Nothing unusual, just snacks, movies, and games, no drugs or alcohol. Since my grandparents live around a quiet circle just outside of town, we would take night walks around between the hours of 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. just to walk and talk. For a better idea of the layout of the circle, it is a one-way entrance and exit neighborhood, about a quarter mile around, a 10 to 15 minute walk at most. It's built on a hill with two flat stretches of road, one on top of the hill and one on the bottom of the hill. For privacy, I'll be using my friends' initials, A, E, and Z. It was around 12 a.m. on our second loop around the circle. Me and A had grouped up, while E and Z grouped up having their own conversation. Me and A got a little ahead of E and Z while lost in our conversation. I would say only about 20 feet ahead of them. We stopped when suddenly we could no longer hear them behind us. So we waited for them to turn the corner, and they never did. We waited 5 minutes before changing directions uphill to go look for them. Once on top of the hill, we looked down the flat stretch of road and we couldn't see them. Thinking they had changed directions or had stopped further back than expected, we circled back the other way. We don't really know exactly how many times we stopped and looped the circle, but somewhere in the area of 4 loops. We stopped periodically for 10 to 15 minutes to wait and change directions once again. Me and A started getting concerned and kind of freaked out and decided they probably went back inside the house. So we headed back inside to no avail. We sat and watched out the window for about half an hour, hoping we see them pass. I remember feeling sheer panic, thinking I would have to wake up my grandparents and explain how 2 teenage girls have been missing for almost 2 hours at this point. A wanted to consider waking them up or even calling the police, thinking the worst. Around 1:30 a.m., I thought they might have left the circle. We decided we would go back out to look for them once more before waking my grandparents up. We walked to the entrance to the circle and yelled for them over and over again without an answer. Right when we went to loop the circle again, we saw their light coming around the circle from the other side. We ran to them asking what happened and where they went. They seemed confused and said they were only separated from us for like 30 minutes. We looked at the phone and it was 2:10 a.m. We made our way back to the house and passed out shortly after. Me and A just felt a overwhelming sense of relief. We told them that they had been gone for over 2 hours. They couldn't believe it. For a while, we thought that E and Z had just pulled a prank on us and hid somewhere in someone's lawn. They both claimed to have never turned off their light or changed directions, only once on their loop. By all means, we should have seen each other. 5 years later, and I've never really stopped thinking about it and brought it up with the group. E and Z never pranked us. I got both their sides of the story. From E and Z's perspective, they were also in conversation and noticed we had gone ahead, but they remained going in the same direction, walking at a faster pace to catch up with us. They did not stop or change directions. They circled in the same direction for 3 loops, then stopped and checked inside the house before waiting in the house for like 10 minutes. They decided to jog back around the circle once more before finding us. And another thing, they never heard us yelling their name. Before we told them how long they were gone, they were both adamant that they had been gone for less than an hour. This was impossible. We just kept missing each other, considering me and A changed directions as soon as we couldn't see them, while they kept going in the same direction. And the amount of stops we took, not to mention the time difference, we all agree is likely they went into some kind of alternate dimension or reality. We can't find any reasonable explanation for being in the same place, but on different timelines. We actually want to recreate the situation just to test it. But in all honesty, I doubt it would happen again, being as superstitious as I am. I think that entries to different realities open randomly. This remains the most unexplainable thing that has ever happened to me. And you just went down the rabbit hole.